We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Good morning, dear friends. I welcome you all in this lecture of Theory of Error. Myself, Dr. Hitesh R. Ashani, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, VVP Engineering College, Rajkot. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss 2 important topics from this chapter. One is introduction portion, and second is important terminologies related to theory of error. So let us start, friends. As we are knowing that surveying involves various types of measurements. Like we have to measure the distances, we have to measure the directions, we have to measure the elevations, we have to measure the angles, we have to measure the area, volume, coordinates, etc. in surveying, in the field observations. And all these observations are done by using the precise surveying instruments. So first, what we have to do when we are going to perform the surveying operations, means measurement in the field, we have to prepare these instruments for the measurement. And this requires certain operations such as setting up of the instruments, leveling of the instrument, centering of the instrument, bisection of the object, observations from the instrument, then noting down that observations in the field book. All these things are to be performed in a complete surveying operations. So what is happening during these operations? Some error in operations is going to take place. So that makes impossible to find the true value of any measurement. Error is occurring due to the faulty instruments. Error is occurring due to the personal error. Error is occurring due to the natural reasons or carelessness of the observers. And all this creates the faulty measurements in the surveying. So these errors which are generated during the measurements of the various quantities, it requires proper control, it requires proper assessment, and it requires proper distribution to get the proper map or plan of our survey area. Error minimized by applying the standard methods and process of surveying, that is very well known things. After that, if the error are still occurring, should be removed or their effect should be corrected. So it is necessary for the surveyor to know how the errors are occurring and how it can be removed, and to find the most probable value of the measurement. That is our ultimate goal of the measurement of the surveying operations. So dear friends, basically there are 3 types of the errors. First one is gross error, also known as mistakes. Second one is systematic error, also known as cumulative error. Third one is accidental error or random error. Now, one by one, we will discuss all these errors in detail. First one is the gross error. Gross errors means the errors that arise from inattention of the observer. Inexperience, observer is performing the surveying operations in the field. Carelessness of the persons involved in the surveying. Poor judgment of the persons involved in the surveying. Confusion in the mind of the observer. All this leads to the gross error in your measurement. If the gross error is undetected, it produces a serious effect on the final result. Means if you are neglecting, if you are not giving the proper attention to this gross error, the final measurements, final result of the surveying is plan or map drawing. And that will create the effect on your final drawing. Means you will get the faulty drawing at the end of your surveying instrument. So let us see the various examples of the gross error. Example, staff reading 2.55 meter for 2.85 meter. Actual staff reading is 2.85 meter, but observer reads the reading 2.55 meter on behalf of 2.85. That is known as the gross error. Error in recording readings, that is writing 69 in place of 96. Error in counting of the chain. Example, counting 8, 4, 3, faulty counting, forgetting one chain length. In chain surveying, if you are using the chain for the measurement purpose and you forgot the chain, if the measurement is too large, that is also known as the gross error. Making mistakes in using a calculator, that is also considered as a gross error. Gross errors do not follow any mathematical rule. It may be due to the person's bad habit of not properly remembering the data at the time of taking down the reading, at the time of writing the reading, at the time of the calculation of the reading, and then presenting the wrong data at a later time, that will lead to the gross error in your measurement. It cannot be measured. They can be detected by repeating the whole operation only. Gross errors are random in occurrence and random in magnitude. Means we can't say that when the gross error will occur, it random in occurrence, and the value of the gross error, it is also unknown, it is random in nature. So length of the error cannot be, we can say, we can't predict the length of the measurement, length of the gross error, sorry. How we can avoid these gross errors? So by certain things, we can say we can control the gross errors. Suppose careful observations will avoid the gross error. Standard method of surveying, if you are adopting, you can avoid the gross error. Standard process of the surveying, if you are following in the field, you can avoid the gross error. And time to time, you have to apply the check during your measurement work to avoid the gross errors. Next error is systematic error, or it is known as the cumulative error. The systematic error is that error occurs due to the fault in the measuring instruments. If your instruments are faulty and whatever the errors are occurring in your measurements, that are known as the systematic error or cumulative error. This error follows the rules of mathematics and laws, physics laws. Example, length of the chain increased or decreased, systematic error. An instrument is not properly leveled, systematic error. An instrument is not adjusted properly, that is also known as the systematic error. Under the same field condition, error are of same sign and same quantity. Error can be computed and correction applied to the measured quantity in this type of the error. So we can calculate the quantity of the error, and whatever the error is there, that we can divide into the measurements. It makes the result, our quantity, our measurements, either too long means positive or too short means negative. Effect of error are cumulative, means it is having the cumulative nature in your effect on your measurement. The systematic error may arise due to variation in temperature, humidity, pressure, current velocity, curvature and reflection, and faulty setting or improper leveling of any instrument and personal vision of an individual. To avoid the systematic error, all the instruments should be properly designed and properly used in the field. It can be reduced by taking the observations in the faced left condition and in the faced right condition. Error cannot be removed, must be known, and correction should be applied in case of the systematic error. Last one is accidental error or random error, means error which remains after the removal of the gross error and systematic error are known as the accidental error. Means after the removal of the gross error and systematic error, still in your observation, if the errors are remaining, that errors are considered as the accidental error or random error caused by the various reasons, and this type of the error is beyond the control of the observers. It follows the laws of probability, and it may be positive in nature or negative in nature. Means it makes the observation too long or it makes the observation too short. This type of the surveying error tends to occur in both the direction. That is, the error may sometimes tends to be positive and sometimes negative, thereby compensating each other. So that's why it is also known as the compensating error. This type of the error occurs due to the lack of perfection of the observer. Let us see one example. While reading the staff reading in the tachyometric surveying, estimate reading 2.35 for 2.55 meter. Actual reading is 2.55 meter, but due to the lack of perfection, the observer reads the 2.35 meter, and that comes the random error or accidental error. Wrong graduations on the staff is also an example of the accidental error. Here your instrument is faulty, so you are getting the wrong measurements of your observations. That is also known as the accidental error. It is small in nature, very small. Amount or value of this error is very small and cannot be removed from the observations. It shows the limit of accuracy to find the measurements like length, angle, or any other measurements. This type of the error follows laws of chance and can be handled according to the mathematical laws of probability. Examples of accidental errors are the difference between the chain and tape measurements when both are used simultaneously, inaccuracy in making chain length on the ground, inaccurate centering of the instrument, inaccurate bisection of an objects are the example of the accidental error or the random error. Now friends, let us discuss the various important terminologies related to the theory of error. First one is observation. So what is observation? An observation is a single unadjusted determination of a linear measurement or angular measurement, that is known as the observations. An observation is obtained by the instrumental measurement in the field. A single reading of an angle or a single reading of a total station is known as the observation. Means if we are taking any measurements in the field by the surveying instrument, and whatever the value of your observation you are getting, that is known as the observation. Means the measured numerical value of your quantity. Suppose quantity is the length and the measured value of the length is 20.50 meter you are getting in the field. So 20.50 meter is my observation. There are two types of the observations. One is the direct observation and second is the indirect observation. First one is the direct observation. A direct observation is an observation of the quantity in the field directly. For example, staff reading in leveling are the direct observation. Staff reading 2.50 meter observed in the field with the leveling instrument and leveling staff. So direct observation means value of your quantity you are getting directly in the field without any calculation in the field, that is known as the direct observation. Example is staff reading. So staff reading you are direct getting. If you are observing from the leveling instrument and you are reading the staff, you will get the staff reading instantly without any calculation in the field. That is your direct observation. Second one is the indirect observation. An indirect observation is a quantity calculated from the direct observations. So whatever the observations you are getting from the direct observations after the calculation, that observations are known as the indirect observations. The distance calculated between the instrument station and the staff station for staff reading is the indirect observations. Suppose you want to calculate the distance between the two instrument station and the staff station in surveying. So distance equation for the calculation of the distance is d is equal to ks plus it is one common equation of the surveying. For that, staff intercept s is 0.7 meter, top staff reading 2.7 and bottom staff reading 2. So we'll get staff intercept 0.7 and reading to find the distance d is equal to ks plus c. So you are putting all the values of multiplying constant k, staff intercept s plus additive constant c. So you will get the value of distance d. So distance d you are getting indirectly from the field observations of the staff reading, top staff reading and bottom staff reading that you are using in this equation to get any other quantity. So that are known as the indirect observations. Next one is the observed value of quantity. Quantity obtained from the observation after applying the correction for systematic and gross errors are known as the observed value of quantity. It contains only accidental error, and observed value of quantity are of two types. One is the independent quantity and second is the dependent quantity. So first one is the independent quantity. Value of an observed quantity which is not related with other value of the observed quantity is known as the independent quantity. Change in other quantity does not affect the value of this independent quantity. Example, reduce level of the benchmark. We are knowing that benchmark is the fixed reference point whose elevation is known. And suppose the value of benchmark is 150. So value of benchmark does not changes. The change in the other value of quantity in other observations will not make any change on the value of the benchmark. That is, that we can say that benchmark is the independent quantity, because any kind of the measurement will not affect the value of the benchmark, it will remain same. Next one is the dependent quantity. Dependent quantity means value of an observed quantity which is associated with the other value of the observed quantity is known as a dependent quantity. Change in other quantity does affect the value of this dependent quantity. Means if you are taking the measurement that affect the quantity of your dependent quantity. Example, angle ABC in traverse are related with the condition A plus B plus C is equal to 180. In this equation, A and B are independent quantity and C is dependent quantity, because equation will become C is equal to 180 minus A plus B. So value of C, so quantity of angle C depends upon the value of the angle A and B. So C, we can say it is a dependent quantity. True value of a quantity, the value of quantity which is free from all the errors is known as the true value of quantity. Practically, it is not possible to remove all the errors from the value of quantity or from the measurements. So the true value of quantity, it is a imaginary value, imaginary quantity. Fourth one, true error. The difference between the true value of the quantity and the observed value of the quantity is known as true error. As true value is not known, true error cannot be determined. Fifth one, most probable value. In short, it is known as MPV. So definition is value which has more chance to become the true value than any other value. That value is known as most probable value. Sixth one, most probable error. Value which is subtracted or added from the most probable value of a quantity is known as the most probable error. This most probable error fixes the boundary within which true value of the observation quantity lies. For example, 10 meter is my one observation or quantity, plus or minus 0.1 meter. So this plus or minus 0.1 meter is my most probable error. So it fixes the boundary between which your value of observed quantity lies. That means we can say that my value of the observed quantity lies between 10.1 to 9.9. So it gives one boundary of your observations. Seventh, residual error. The difference between the observed value of quantity and its most probable value will give the residual error. Eighth, observational equation. The equation which shows the relation between the observed quantity and its numerical values are known as the observational equation. Example, A plus B is equal to 70 degrees 0 minute 00 second is the observational equation, because this equation shows the relation between the observed quantity A and B and its numerical value, the sum of the angle A and B, that is equal to 70 degree. So relation between the observed quantity and its numerical value. So this equation is known as the observational equation. Next one, ninth one is the conditional equation. Equation which shows the relation between the various dependent quantities are known as the conditional equation. Example, A plus B plus C is equal to 180 degree is the conditional equation. And last one is the normal equation. Equation which is formed by multiplying the each equation by the coefficient of the unknown whose normal equation is to be formed are known as the normal equation. Number of normal equation is same as the number of unknowns. Most probable value of the unknown quantities are found by the normal equation. So one example is given here. A is equal to 49 degree 48 minute 36.6 second. B is given 54 degree 37 minute 48.3 second, and A plus B is given 104 degree 26 minute 28.5 second. So how to create here? Unknown quantities are A and B. So we are having two unknown quantities. So we have to create the two unknown. We have to create the two normal equations. Or in other words, we can say that number of normal equation for this given example is 2 because the unknowns are 2, and we have to create the normal equations by multiplying the each equation by the coefficient of unknown. So thank you very much, friend. In next lecture, we will discuss about the other topics of this theory of error. Thank you very much.